Hello everyone, this is Charles with mtcscreens.com here. We are bringing you a new display, 12-inch Medallion Viper II touchscreen replacement. So this is going to fix all of the common issues that you guys are having on your boat and RVs. Used in Sea Ray, many other vehicles. Dozens of different manufacturers use these screens, and previously we had to replace the entire display unit. Now we can save it and repair only the LCD touchscreen assembly at a much lower cost. And as we're going to see, it's going to be a really easy do-it-yourself job. With our improved design, you won't have to worry about it. So this is a factory unit that becomes unresponsive. Sometimes you press buttons and they don't work. They activate other buttons. It's a bubbly delamination look also. Sometimes the touch becomes frozen and causes these other various ancillary issues. But the classic one is the delamination bubble around the outside. And this is due to a bad design that uses a liquid glue that separates and leaks out inside the unit, just like you see here. Yeah, after about 2 to 3 years, this can happen. This unit is in 2021 build date, so the newer units are still susceptible to this problem, but not to worry. We can fix it with the 12A repair kit for these Viper II systems to go from the bubble delamination to a brand new, better than new appearance. Our panel has an improved bonding method for the glass, so it's going to be a perfect laser cut around the border, no gaps, no misshapen issues. It's going to have a nice dark blue violet electroplating, which is going to help you see the display and the screen during bright sunny days. We're going to be able to use your internal board and housing. Those are the expensive parts of the display. So that's what we do, is we reuse the internal parts that are still good, replace only the bad parts, save thousands of dollars. No reason to replace parts that are not bad. So compared to the dealer option, this is much better. So it's an upgrade improvement, and it fixes your issues at the same time. We do offer 3 options depending on your budget. So we have a mail-in service where you'll check out, receive a UPS label, and then send it in for repair. We have a do-it-yourself option where you can order just the panel and install it yourself with this upcoming video. It takes about 20 minutes. Or sometimes we have refurbished units where you can buy the new unit and swap it out for your old one for less downtime. For the do-it-yourself, we'll need these tools listed here. Very straightforward. You can use a heat gun or a heat plate. Give yourself about 30 minutes. It's very important to watch the video in full before starting it to avoid any injury, damage, and whatnot. So stay tuned. We'll show you the disclaimer here. It's pretty obvious, but use common sense, be careful, and we will get started. Alright, so today we're going to repair this delaminated panel from a Medallion Viper II system. As you can see, it has the classic bubble delamination around the border, and this one also was frozen or unresponsive. So we're going to start with heating up the glass on the front of the unit. We want to heat the perimeter of the glass, and the purpose here is to really soften the tape that holds it together. So you can use a heat gun or a heat plate. Heat it until it's hot to the touch, to where you can't touch it for more than a few seconds without it being too hot. And once that is done, we can kind of use the tool that's included with the repair kit and just dip it in some isopropyl alcohol. Always recommend 91% or higher, and you use the alcohol to kind of soften that tape and very gently go around the perimeter to slice off the tape bond to the glass. Now this is the part where you want to be patient. Don't rush it. Use heat and the isopropyl alcohol to soften the tape, and it should slice through really easily. Although if it's not, you're not using enough alcohol or it's not hot enough. So have patience, take your time, don't rush it. If you rush it, you have a strong chance of breaking the glass, and that's going to cause a dangerous situation. So it's best just to not rush it, take your time, and go around here multiple passes just like you see in this video. The isopropyl will soften the glue when it makes contact, so use your metal tool here to transfer that alcohol to the tape, and after a couple minutes it'll soften up, and just keep going around the border over and over, and use the heat gun if you have one, or a heat plate. A hair dryer is not really going to get hot enough to warm this up to where it needs to be, so a heat gun is what I typically recommend. you'll start to feel the tape separate in certain areas, and that'll create an opening to where you can add more alcohol to that tape bond. Here we're going to heat it up a little bit more. It was getting cooled down a little bit too much. So now it's hot to the touch, and you're good to continue on. So notice here, if the knife isn't sliding through the tape very easily, we'll just add more heat and add more isopropyl to keep the process going. Many passes is much better than trying to get it in one pass and forcing it and cracking that glass and creating a hazard. All right, and then once all of the tape bond has been separated, the LCD will pull forward, and now you can access the two cables that go to the back of the LCD panel. These pull straight down and away from the unit, no locks, no latches, very simple. And then we'll move on to the orange Digitizer cable. This is held down with a clamp, latch style connector, and then also some yellow tape. You can pull the yellow tape up, and that will free it up, and then you just click forward on the brown piece, and then there's the latches undone. You can just lift away the old Digitizer ribbon, and now you can set the old LCD panel aside, and we won't use that anymore. The next step is to remove the tape from the black plastic housing. So this tape is it's a double-sided foam style tape, and if you can get a hold of it and stretch it, it comes away pretty cleanly that way. Otherwise, you can kind of roll it and it'll come off pretty cleanly. During this step, the cleaner you can get the tape removed, the better. The less cleanup work you have to do on the next step. So try and replicate this step in this video where you either roll it or slide it. In your repair kit, you'll also have a blue tool that has a nice plastic nylon edge that is really good at scraping away this tape from the housing. So just like before, dip that blue tool in the isopropyl alcohol, and you can go around the perimeter if you need to, and what you're trying to do is just remove all the traces of the tape without getting too much isopropyl alcohol in there. There's no reason to overdo it. Just kind of stretch it and keep peeling away until it's complete. If you do use the tool, you don't want to use too much pressure either, in case it slips, and you don't want to damage the circuit board or anything by the tool slipping off. So just be aware of that. So with most of the tape residue removed, you can continue on just to the last traces of glue that are around this this flat perimeter surface. Use paper towels, use the isopropyl alcohol, give it time to let it soften up the glue. And what we're trying to do is get a totally smooth, clean plastic surface for the new tape to mount to. So use the techniques you see here with the paper towel. Just go around, use the tool on the more stubborn areas, and just take your time, have patience, and eventually all that tape and glue residue would be removed. If you have a unit where a lot of the glue has leaked into the bottom of the housing, you can remove as much of that as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but what you're trying to avoid is that glue leaking out again with the new panel. So remove that if you can. Use paper towels and kind of do the best job you can to get the excessive mountain or piles of glue that are at the bottom of that unit. It doesn't have to be perfect, but some 12-inch Medallion Viper II units use a non-touchscreen version. So the next step is for touchscreens only. In the event yours does not have a touchscreen, you can just ignore this step and leave the orange Digitizer cable connected to your LCD panel and just continue on. All right, so the surface is ready. You can take the new LCD 12A panel out of the bag. You can take a look here at that nice new anti-glare layer. The orange Digitizer cable is going to be secured to the housing with some tape. You want to just separate that, and now we want to orientate the panel and the LCD housing so it's lined up. And in the video here, you can see how the circuit board's on the right side and the panel is in front of you, and that gets the connectors and the receptacles where they need to be. So here we'll make sure that that previous connector with the brown latch is unlocked. You can reach down, make sure your pins are facing down towards the circuit board. It really only goes in one way, but the brown side should be the black side should be facing you. Insert it in the connector just like that. Hold it all the way in, make sure it's straight, and then click that piece into place. Also on your on the back of your panel or the bag, you'll find some yellow Kapton tape, and that is nice tape that really works well for circuit boards. It really keeps your connector in place so it doesn't get pulled out, and it keeps it secured from vibration. So that's a nice thing to do there on that connector. Now you'll connect the other two connectors to the back of the LCD. They just push straight in. They can only go in one way. There's no lock or latch. It's just a friction fit. Just like that. And now use the rest of the yellow Kapton tape to put over the back of that connector. That's going to prevent any sort of glue residue, any vibrations, just kind of secures it. So now the new LCD is connected. We want to test it out before mounting it to your panel. So plug it into your boat if you can. Here we have a Malibu test platform running. It's a simple one plug on the back of the Cat 5 cable. All right, so during the test, we can see everything is lighting up as it should. The touchscreen is working exactly as it should, and that means you're good to go. If you don't see anything lighting up, go back and check all of your connections, especially the touchscreen. It's possible you just didn't get that in all the way in straight if the touch isn't working. But if everything looks good, now we want to seal the unit up. So the way this will work is you want to use one hand to kind of tilt the new panel forward, and that way you can access the tape backing strips that are on the perimeter of the foam tape. So there's 4 of them. Go around the sides, peel it off, and when you go to install this panel into the housing, it'll drop right into place. Try to avoid pinching that orange Digitizer cable. It sometimes has a tendency to bundle up there, but just be aware of that. Line up the sides and the edges where it has the radius around the corners, and then it will all just fall perfectly right into place. And then you can press down around the perimeter and seal that new tape up. It's a nice waterproof seal, and you are all set. You've fully restored your 12A unit for a fraction of the cost of a new display unit. Now it's a matter of just plugging it back into your boat, reconnecting it, and you're all set. There's no programming and no updates required. This particular one is going back to the customer, fully tested, ready to go. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully it's helpful. If you have any other display needs for your boat, you can contact us, charles@mtcscreens.com. And tell all your friends, post on the forums, spread the word that we can now save these units at a fraction of the cost instead of buying brand new units from the dealer. Hopefully this helps. Post a comment or give me a call if you have any questions. Thank you.